All right, what up, Tube? Coming back at you from the dungeon. So, y'all know that I've been waiting on Summit Racing to send these front hubs for my Chevelle. Well, I ran into a little issue with this whole COVID-19 thing where they were getting those from, CPP. And so CPP is in California. They shut down and they're projecting that that shipment won't come out until about June, the end of June. And so I can't wait. I've already waited a month. So I went ahead and canceled that and I had to go a different direction. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the camera turned around so I can explain like the direction I went, why I went in that direction, and some of the things that you guys can do to try to make this swap happen if it all works. So there's a couple different options that I had. One of those options was CPP, spending about 170 bucks for the front hubs and making that work. But they had a whole other lot of different things going on with that. They offer it on their website, but it's not something that they typically would stock, or it's a special ordered part and someone ordered it from Summit or asked Summit to order it for them through CPP so they can utilize their Summit Racing card. So they naturally have to put it on their catalog. So that was all it doesn't make sense to me to put that in your catalog if that's something that is a special order and you're not really going to be able to get. But anyway, that's the way they explained it to me. But I'm going to get this camera turned around and I'm going to show y'all some of the stuff that I have going on. All right, so this here is the factory rotor that came with my Chevelle. So some Chevelles, they have the drum brakes up front. Some of them have disc. This one, mine's have disc. So the spindle is set up for a disc brake spindle. And the difference is just the taper or how wide or something like that the actual spindle is. So I had an option. Option A was to take these rotors, get this part of the rotor cut off, and then get this milled down to about 5 inches or something like that, somewhere around there. Now, the thing is, I'm running different lugs, and the reason why I'm running different lugs is because of the wheels. The wheels that I'm running came off a Range Rover, and they require Range Rover lugs because they are a special order 3-piece wheel from HRE. It's the same bolt pattern. Y'all know, y'all see it lines up and everything. But like what I did with these, I got these honed out and I got new studs pressed in. Now, talking with one of the reps from the company that I'm utilizing, he explained to me that when you're cutting this off and you're grinding it down, there is a potential for it to crack. Honing this, there's a potential for cracks, especially with this type of metal. Now, I'm not sure what that means, but that's all I needed to hear. So I was like, yeah, I ain't going with those. This was an option though, because I already have the setup for a disc brake and I brought the bracket for a disc brake setup, factory setup, I could have went this route. Now, the other route would have been drum brakes. So I could have used factory front drums and I could have basically just take the hat off and slid the rotors onto that and made that work because that's all kind of set up for it. The issue is finding someone with drum brakes in the front drums that's wanting to sell them in their the spindle, not the spindle, but the spindle. Making sure I had the front hub spindles for a drum brake. Now I already had ordered for the disc brake because that's what I had, so I didn't want to go chasing that route. So the other option that I think would have been a good option would have been to utilize the factory Camaro hub. So I would need the factory Camaro spindle. And it would just bolt onto the actual spindle this way and just run the hub. Now, remember, I swapped out. I'm using Range Rover lugs. These are a M14 lug. So they're bigger than the lug that is needed for, or the stud that is needed for the Chevelle, regular Chevelle studs. So all of my wheels are the M14. These are M14 factory. So this would have worked really well for me. If you go this route, you may not be able to utilize it just because they're already running the M14 stud. And so you would need to, basically your front lugs would need to be switched out to an M14 style stud that will fit. So that's what you would need to do. So you can utilize that. You just got to make sure that the stud, if you utilize it and it works, that the stud, the lug that you get matches this stud. And I would much rather go this route because if something happened to my spindle, my hub, I can just order a brand new hub, 2017 Camaro hub, and it will be a direct bolt on. I don't have to worry about nothing. And I know that it will take the Camaro rotors, which are a little bit cheaper than the Corvette Stingray rotors. So I have those two, and that was an option. But when I purchased everything, I forgot to pick up the spindle for it. So I tried to contact the dude. He acted like now he wanted to charge me for the spindles, and I ain't got time for that, especially knowing that I don't know if it's actually going to work. So it was just an option. So that led me to my next, where I could either go with Core 3, which was that's why I went with Core 3. Here's their hub, Core 3, or I could have went with Big Break Upgrade. Those are the two companies that I seen that are doing these swaps. Now the thing with Big Break Upgrade, I have their brackets for the actual swap. That's the brackets that I'm using all the way around. So this bracket here that's holding this rear up, this rear brake caliper, that's from Big Break Upgrade. Now they have a dude, Scott. Now the only way you can get in contact with these dudes is by email, and that's fine. Scott, he's real reliable. He gets right back to you. But to have a conversation that I really need to have, it honestly took a week and a half, like going back and forth emails, trying to figure out things. I have to send pictures and do all this other stuff. Not bad, but still, I just had to do it. So with Core 3, I was able to call Core 3. And as soon as I called, someone picked up. Second, third ring. Tobin picked up. That's the dude I was dealing with, Tobin. He picked up. Now, when he picked up, I was able to tell him what I wanted, tell him what I need. We were able to have the conversation, dialogue. He's the one that told me about honing these out, and it might crack. And I thought he was lying until I talked to my machine guy, and he said absolutely, like, it happens more frequent than not. He's done a lot of them. I think he's 80 years old. He's been in the business for about 50 years. So with that being said, I just opted to go with these. Now here's the other reason, and I went with Tobin just in the Core 3 because I was able to have a good customer service experience, to be honest with you. Like, I called, he picked up, we had a conversation. I called him back like maybe a week later, and he was like, is this, Dakel? Like, he already knew my name and everything. Like, he, we just left off or jumped on the same conversation that we left off. Now, here's the other thing. The other thing was price. I was looking at $140 per rotor to get it milled down and get the new studs pressed in. $140 per, so that's $280 on doing it. I was afraid that if I get to this last bolt and he push it in and it cracked, I still got to pay that man, right? So why even deal with that? Again, price. I was going to be at somewhere around like 140 to 160 per spindle. If it don't work, I'm out that money. There's nothing that I can do about it. So why deal with that? And I got with Tobin. Tobin was, or Core 3, let me call the company name. Core 3 was at, with everything the way I needed it, because I was able to talk to him. I didn't need these studs because I'm running bigger studs with a bigger gnarl to them. So he took the studs off, and I was at 380 shipped to me. And it just took a couple days. Now with Big Break Upgrade, I would have been at 420 to 450, I believe, is their site. 420 to 460, 450, just to get their spindle. The other thing, their hub. The other thing with their hub is, I did my research, and Big Break Upgrades is using a very similar, if not the same design as Core 3's old hub system, their first hub system. This is Core 3's second hub system. So it's re-engineered a little bit better. It's, has some better things to it. And it just shows me that they are a little bit ahead of the game over Big Break Upgrades, which that's fine. Companies are starting, and that's beautiful, but that's fine. So that was it. Like, there's a big difference in price. The other thing too is with Core 3, I get my bearings. I know I get a better looking dust shield. Here's the dust shield that goes onto here. It's a better looking dust shield. It looks really good. It's not like that slap on that you would get with what's that other place? The Big Break Upgrades. And then they also give me the gaskets for it as well. On Big Break Upgrades, that they say this is additional stuff that is needed. So they don't even supply that for you. And so with that all being said, that's why I went with Core 3. I figured, that's going to be, this right here will be $280, let's say, to get done. Even if it worked, it'd be $280. Fine, that works. I could have saved some money. But I would much rather spend the extra 100. Right now it's going to probably be like an extra 140 bucks to get this set up and get everything pressed in. I know it all works. I know everything is cool with it. I'd rather do that than to potentially play around and try to save the money in the headache. So hopefully tomorrow, today's Sunday, tomorrow hopefully I'm going to take this in with my new studs. I'm running these ARP studs. They're longer studs, but the gnarl is a little bit bigger than the ones that I typically was running in those. And so that's the other reason why I would have to ring those out again to be able to fit these guys in there, because you need a longer stud. I'm going to take these guys, and then I'm going to take my front rotors that I got from that guy, and I'm going to get those ringed out just a little bit, because those are like a 67.9, and this is set up for a 70.3 or something like that. So this needs to be ringed out just a little bit, and I'm going to do that just so I don't have to buy another set of Stingray rotors. So I just want to show y'all kind of where I'm at. It came in, so I'm excited about it, but I still need to send this out to go get the studs put in, and the rotors reamed. Once I get that back, it shouldn't take them no more than a day or so. Once I get that back, I'll put it all on. I have the kit ready to go. I'll drop everything on, throw the rims on there, and then I want to lower it to see how the 2-inch, because I got a 2-inch drop spindle, how that worked with the 2-inch drop spindle and everything like that. So I have that, and then later on in the week, either early this week. I've been working on the back end of the Chevelle, doing the lower valance, getting that all tightened up and everything, so you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like, the lines and all that stuff, and how that all looks. So the lower valance is on there. I do have it tack welded to the bumper right now because I'm gonna make a different mounting point. I want it to mount to the bumper as opposed to mounting to the body. And the reason why is just to maintain that great line, that sharp line going straight up and over. Typically it'll go up, then jog in, and then go up. So I'm gonna just keep that, but I'll give y'all another video on that. This one is kind of getting a little long, but I just want to give y'all an update on the Chevelle and the brake swap and some ideas for you guys that are looking at doing the same Brembo brake swap and what that all could entail. Again, I don't know it all, so and I'm learning, but if you guys have any questions, just ask. I try to get back to y'all. I try to holler at y'all and give y'all what I know. So, excuse me. So yeah, I get at y'all, and stay tuned too. Peace.